The winning blueprint presents.
While you're here, go ahead and sub up.
For those of you who don't know, I am Lou, host of the football program in the lab room. Thank you for joining me. Here, simply talking football. Had a chance to watch a couple of preseason games over the weekend, and while I was watching, I jotted a few notes down and wanted to share them with you. So today I want to talk about the Arizona Cardinals as they travel to Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers in their first preseason matchup of the 2013 season. And so I want to get into what I saw. Not going to be very long-winded here. I'm going to get right to the point. And so let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals and what I saw in this preseason matchup. This is a team that is vastly different from a season ago. New head coach, new starting quarterback, new offensive line, and we start there with the offensive line. Light years better than they were last year. I mean, watching the first snap of the game, you saw that this offensive line was revamped. You get Levi Brown back, and this offensive line just looks the part. They just look light years better than they were last year. And pass blocking is definitely ahead of the running game right now. The running game is lagging slightly behind, but they're definitely pass blocking. Carson Palmer had time in this game to survey the field, look to receivers down the field, come back down to some check down routes, whatever he needed to do in this game. He was able to do it because the pocket was there. He had time to survey the field and make the right decision. They were backed up on the 1 yard line one time. He had time to play action fake, turn his back to the defense, turn around, find Larry Fitzgerald on about a 15 or 17 yard out route. And so this offensive line definitely better than it was a season ago. And that is evident watching this football game. Defense gives up a long pass. Rodgers hits him big on a 50-yarder to James Jones. But the defense buckled down in the red zone and did not allow the Packers to get in the end zone. And the Packers got greedy. They went for it on fourth down and did not get it. The Cardinals stymied them on fourth down and was able to create a turnover on down. So even though your new corner, or one of your new corners, Anton Cason, was beaten on the play by James Jones, you were able to stiffen up in the red zone. And look, I'm really firm on, hey, you can go 20-20 all you like, but if you can force teams to kick field goals, don't allow them in the end zone, you'll have a shot in this league. You can give up 400 yards a game, but if you're only giving up 19.7, 20.2 points a game, you're going to have a shot to win a lot of games in the National Football League. If you can stop teams from getting in the end zone, when they get in the red zone, you got a shot. And that's what the Cardinals were able to do here. Very good, positive sign by this Cardinals defense being able to buckle down and stop Aaron Rodgers and his company from getting in the end zone. Emphasis on down the field passing in this game. Several deep shots in this game. And look, with Bruce Arians being your head coach, you are definitely going to take shots down the field. It is mandatory in his offense that you take shots down the field. And it wasn't just Carson Palmer. Even your backup in this game, Drew Stanton, who I'll talk about a little bit later, he was taking shots down the field too. I mean, his first couple of throws, deep shots down the field. And so the Arizona Cardinals are going to be much like the Indianapolis Colts were a season ago, taking shots down the field. They're going to throw the football. Guys are going to get opportunities to make plays in this offense. You're going to throw the football around. You're going to be very excited with what you're doing offensively. And this is going to be an exciting team to watch in 2013 because they are going to pass the football for a ton of yards. They're going to spread it around. Guys like Andre Roberts, Michael Floyd, someone you drafted, Rob Hausler. These are all guys that I feel like can get in this passing game and really have an impact in 2013. And we all know about Larry Fitzgerald. And I'm just so happy that he's getting another veteran quarterback that can come in here and help him excel once again to one of the better receivers in the league because he had a down season last year. And we all know why. That quarterback position was a joke last year in Arizona. So to see him get a veteran like Carson Palmer in Arizona, it's just refreshing to see Larry Fitzgerald in his career. I don't want to say revitalized because it's not like this guy fell off a cliff or something, but he's rejuvenated. I can assure you of that. He feels like we got a shot because we got a quarterback in Arizona now. So you go to Patrick Peterson and he picks off Graham Harrell as he makes a play out on the sidelines trying to throw it back across his body. Look, Patrick Peterson is rounding into one of the better corners in the National Football League. He has the complete package, can run, is physical, makes plays on the football. You make a mistake, he makes you pay for it. He does it all. And so Patrick Peterson is a guy that I really like. He makes a play on the ball, returns it, gives the Cardinals some prime field position. And look, if you can do that this season, last year you had games where you forced turnovers. I remember the Atlanta Falcons game like it was yesterday. You forced Matt Ryan into about 3 or 4 picks and you couldn't score any points. I mean, it was really simple. Your quarterbacks were horrendous in that game. Even though you were forcing turnovers, even though you were stymieing that offensive attack of the Falcons, you couldn't score any points, so it didn't matter. You still end up losing the game. This season, Patrick Peterson gets an interception, puts you in prime position to score. Very next play, Carson Palmer hooks up with Andre Roberts for 38 yards for a touchdown. Simple as that. This is a different team. And that's a prime example of why this team is different. You get a pick, the next play, 38 yards, up top, touchdown, 7 points for the Arizona Cardinals. You're going to make teams pay for mistakes this season, something you didn't do a season ago. Look at another thing that I jotted down, and I don't know. Look, help me out here, because I'm a little lost on this. Should I make a lot out of Alfonso Smith starting over Rashard Mendenhall at running back? Should I make a lot out of that, or should I just disregard that as just, hey, preseason game number 1, giving guys looks? I don't know. I want to know because you brought Rashard Mendenhall, and look, you brought him in here on a very meager deal. It wasn't like you went out and spent a lot of money on this guy to bring him in, and he's the unquestioned starter. You brought him in with the opportunity. That's the key word. The opportunity to start and have meaningful snaps in Arizona. He did not start this game. I don't know. Should I question that, or was he banged up? I don't think he was banged up. Should I question that or not? I don't know. I'm just saying. So we'll see what that means, if there's some writing on the wall there, or do I need to be reading in between the lines, or is that absolutely nothing? Who knows? John Abraham acclimating himself very well on this football team, forcing a fumble of Graham Harrell, creating a turnover. Look, that's what John Abraham does. He's a guy that gets off the football and can make plays and get to the quarterback and force fumble. He did it in Atlanta last season, getting to the quarterback. But the thing about John Abraham, and a lot of times you'll find with savvy veterans who can get to the quarterback, they don't just want the sack. Anybody can get a sack. I want the football. That's the most important thing in this equation. If I can get the football out, I've done myself and my team a great service by getting the football out, forcing a turnover, and giving my offense some good field position. And that's what he did on this play, forcing a turnover. And look, you're going to love what you get out of John Abraham. I think he has something left in the tank. And if you put this guy in positions to make plays, I think he's going to come off that edge and he's really going to create havoc getting to the quarterback. Good to see John Abraham getting pressure early in the preseason. This is a guy that can really help this defense take it to that next level. Lastly, I want to talk about Drew Stanton. I thought he played really well. And for the first time in a while, I think you have 2 really solid quarterbacks in Arizona. Carson Palmer is going to take you to that next level. And Drew Stanton is right behind him in case of an emergency. Look, he came over with Bruce Arians. I wasn't a huge Drew Stanton fan, but he's winning me over with his play. And I think Bruce Arians knows, hey, this guy knows my offense. I trust him. And I think he can go out and execute for me. And that's what he did in his preseason game. Like what I see from Drew Stanton, let's see if he can continue to do that throughout the rest of this preseason. Because, hey, if you got 2 quarterbacks on your team that you can rely on, you got to feel good about your chances every single Sunday in the National Football League. And one little nugget before we get out of here. Tyrann Mathieu, look, he comes in and all this guy does is make plays. He comes, he gets a sack, he returns a punt, looks very impressive doing so. Going to be very hard to keep this guy off the field in Arizona. Simply put, this guy just makes things happen when he's on the football field. We'll see. But he's been the talk of the camp, and he comes out and he shows what he's been doing all over the field, and Cardinals really like what they saw out of Tyrann Mathieu. And so going to be very interesting to see how they use this guy in the upcoming preseason games as we get closer to the regular season. And that's what I saw in the Arizona Cardinals opening preseason matchup.
Like the content? Want more? Sub up.